Hi, it's Kathleen, and today we're doing a video that's a little bit different than what I usually do. That's Kashi. Today, we're launching a shop, a small business, and I'm gonna take you through every single little step I've taken so far to get to this fortuitous day, and dealing with things in the most sustainable way possible, because that's important here. Well, it's important everywhere, but especially here. And before I get too far into things, there is a link in the description box for the shop, and it does feature the official Thrift Gremlin t-shirt. So if you're watching this when it launches, and you wanna go check it out really quick before you watch the rest of the video, feel free to pause and take a peek. No pressure. Oh wait. Okay, you're back. Let's rewind a couple months to one fateful day at the thrift store where our journey begins. I'm at the thrift store and it is raining. I'm here hunting for blanks for my graphic tees. And I was here a couple weeks ago and there was a treasure trove. And I grabbed some then, but after thinking on it for a bit, I think I need all of them. So come with me, let's see if they still have them. I'm nervous they're gonna be sold out. I think they're still here, you guys. There's so many of them. Okay, so I did not get all of the shirts. I have no idea how this launch is gonna go, so I didn't want to go crazy. And before you're like, well, did you leave any for the other people? When I tell you that there were thousands of these blank shirts at this thrift store, they were drowning in them. I honestly think I did them a favor by taking a measly couple hundred off their hands. And this brings us back to why t-shirts, why secondhand blanks. So let's start at the beginning. I make videos mostly about art and sustainable personal style. I'm also a full-time creative director with a background in illustration, and that also includes a past life working as a graphic t-shirt designer for an Eldritch mall brand. You may own one of my t-shirt designs already. You may be wearing one of my t-shirt designs right now. Probably not, but hey, anything's possible. All that to say, I love graphic t-shirts, but I also have a deep passion for sustainability, and I did not want to use brand new garments if I could source them in a more sustainable way. So I've been reaching out to secondhand sourcing companies over the last year, sustainable manufacturers, and nothing has really felt quite right until these t-shirts quite literally fell into my lap. So let's talk about these blank t-shirts. We have 2 ice dye tie-dye colorways. Each one is unique, which is really cool. They're all dyed slightly differently. And I was also so pumped to see that these t-shirt blanks are from the brand called Junk Food. You might have seen Junk Food graphic t-shirts in stores like Free People, because they specialize in these vintage inspired licensing deals like Elvis t-shirts or Rolling Stone t-shirts, and they're really comfortable. However, since these are secondhand blanks, it does mean that this run is pretty limited and there's only a certain amount of t-shirts that are even possible to make. That's not to instill like a scarcity mindset in you and to force you to buy something that you don't want to buy. Please don't do that. And while I have some extra blanks that I haven't printed on so that we could do a small second run if these sell out, I have no idea if that's going to happen, but maybe. There really aren't going to be that many of these t-shirts that exist, which is cool. And we have a bunch of blank t-shirts on our hands. So now we have to actually, design and print and sell. I thought the hard part was getting the t-shirts, but now reality is kind of hitting me knowing that I have to do, everything else. Which brings us to design phase. Hi people, let's draw this shirt. Huh? I didn't want to just slap Kathleen Illustrated on it and call it a day. Who would buy that? I wouldn't buy that. Maybe you would, that's cool. But I really want this shop to exist separate from quote unquote Kathleen Illustrated. It's its own thing, it's its own products. Hello. And I wanted to make something specifically that this community would really appreciate and enjoy and could maybe be even used as like a calling card or a conversation starter. One thing we do a lot around here is thrifting. Yeah, I'd say that's kind of the backbone of this whole thing. So for our very first t-shirt launch, we're releasing the official Thrift Gremlin t-shirt that you can wear loud and proud and let people know what you're really all about. So here's the idea. I'm going to illustrate Thrift Gremlin in a cool metal/horror medieval lettering style. I love using black letter typefaces in my work, so we're gonna smash that kind of 70s medieval revival meets modern spooky graphic. And I think that blue ice dye and the gray ice dye t-shirts are really gonna lend themselves to a cool vintage look, especially with whatever color we choose the lettering to be. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be a whole thing, isn't it? I've been grabbing some inspiration online, and I've already played around a little bit with different phrases. Like I tried out Thrift God. I don't really like the shape of that combination of letters. Before getting too far into actually illustrating anything, I just want to see how the letters themselves fit together. Like, do I want them on a double line? Do I want it one line all the way across? Do I want the letters on the end, like the two T's, to be a little bit bigger to create almost like an encompassing shape? Do I want it to be all uppercase? And I really like the spiky nature of those like hard rock metal fonts, but we want to keep things at least a little bit legible. I don't mind if it's a little bit, like, what does that say? If you know kind of thing, but we don't want to get too spiky. The process I like about illustrative lettering is when you just get to write the same phrase like 50 different times and pick the one that feels best to then explore into your final piece. So I'm just gonna play with this and we'll see where we land. I think I should also have some reference on screen since I've never done this before and I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, my foot's asleep. Okay. This drawing didn't happen all in one sitting. I had to do a couple drafts of it, but Thrift Gremlin. Now comes the kind of nitty-gritty part of scaling it and sizing it and making sure it fits well across the entire size range. And speaking of size range, right now I have access to extra small to extra, extra large shirts. And I'll be the first to say that that range isn't as inclusive as I would ultimately want it to be. So for future launches, if there are future launches, depending on how this goes, just know that that is a big priority for me. It's hard when you're trying to use secondhand blanks, not create more unneeded waste in the world, but also make sure that those blanks are the exact sizes that you need them to be. It's not an excuse, it's just a variable. So let's learn a little bit about graphic t-shirt design, okay? So in my experience, typically if you have a full chest graphic, they're usually like 9 to 12 inches wide, depending on how exploded you want it to be. So my goal is to have one graphic that fits across all sizes, so I don't have to burn multiple screens. So on our smallest size, extra small, I think the graphic will look a little bigger, and on our largest side, the extra, extra large, which is what I have on now, it'll be a little more centered, but still big. So now we look at placement. Let me get some sharp objects. When we did this at my old job, we had, a dress form that we could put it over and pin it onto. Now I'm the dress form, baby. So right now my graphic, I think, is 11.5 inches wide. I know, I just printed it out and sized it that way. And another graphic t-shirt design tip is that usually the kind of rule of thumbs for how high your graphic should be is an amount of fingers from the collar. I think the most default amount is 3. So we put down 3 fingers. That's where the tippy top of your graphic would be. And the tippy top of my graphic is like this point and this point. However, in a lot of more unique or vintage designs, the graphic is a little bit higher, which I think I want to do. I think I want to do more like 2 fingers, and it'll fit nicely on the chest. Let's pin her. Don't stab yourself. That would be bad for this whole process. Cool. Sweet. And in the product listing, we're gonna have every size measured out from extra small to extra, extra large, like shoulder to shoulder, and the total length and the total width. They're boxy and they have these cool long sleeves, which I think is very spicy. You could also roll it up if you wanted to. Nice. But again, make sure you check the dimensions of the sizes. Okay, I think that graphic size will fit for the larger size. Let's check the smallest. This is gonna be the babiest of all baby tees on me. Oh gosh, here we go. The bits are tight, the bits are tight. Yeah, that doesn't look too big at all. Cool. We've got our design, we've got our placement and our size. Now I have to pick colors. Oh, it's gonna be so hard to decide. Another day, another using my lunch break to design t-shirts. Let's make some decisions. Let's make some decisions, people. So I made some mock-ups. Can you see? Perfect. I'm dreading this. I can't make up my mind about anything ever. Now my initial thought was that we'd go super colorful on both of them. Initially I was thinking like, what if we did like a Kelly green on this blue? But that might be kind of hard to read, But I like the green idea because it's like gremlin. And then I was thinking for the blue, what if we did like a contrasting color, like a super bright orangey red? I really want one of them to be like crazy clashy clowncore energy. I love a neon graphic. And I feel like when you have a t-shirt with an interesting color palette, that becomes like a focal point of an outfit, and it can really elevate what is seen as a pretty casual piece of clothing, a graphic t-shirt. You do tonal, a blue on a blue. I really am feeling pretty good about kind of a scarlet-y, poppy-y, orange red. This feels Halloween-y to me, which I like a lavender. That's kind of surprising. But I'm also thinking maybe not everyone wants a colorful t-shirt. Like I know a lot of people only wear black or black and white, and I also know just like a classic black graphic is just a staple. That's kind of metal. I do often feel like the two sides of my style coin are like clown and mime, like black and white emo. So this is feeling kind of like a good example of that. And we have an option for those who like a really technicolor moments, and an option for those who maybe don't like to wear so much color, but they like a cool graphic. By the time you're seeing this, these shirts will be made. Let me know what you think about the final colorways. We're gonna start here, and I need to find a place to print these shirts. We're about to do something exciting, y'all. I'm about to go visit who I hope will be our printer to check out colors, because I don't have a flip book, a Pantone flip book. Those things are expensive. And check out placement and sizing and make sure it all looks good. And then if things go well, I'm just gonna take the blanks with me and they can start printing them. Isn't that right? So who knows, our little baby could be in progress today. Okay, Kashi, you gonna help me pick up this big box of shirts or what? Hi, this is very exciting. I'm going to go pick up the shirts. They've been printed. I'm just excited and nervous and mostly nervous and also excited too, if we're honest. I also wasn't able to bring my muscle with me today, aka Gus. Also, you are in a safe location and I'm driving safely, and I'm not going to look at you while I'm driving. I'm just going to talk. I couldn't bring Gus with me today, so I am going to be lugging hundreds of t-shirts. Good thing I work out 2 to 3 times a week for 20 to 25 minutes each time. I'm yapping when I really need to be nabbing those shirts. I'll be right back. We got them, folks. We got them. Get out of here before they try and take them back. Pants are unbuttoned. We did it, everybody. Look how cool and funky these guys turned out. You might be like, oh, is that a little bit of like a puff paint texture? Yeah, it's a little bit of a puff paint texture. In the design that I sent the printers, I added manually some like little bits of grit and texture to make it look slightly vintage and aged. It's really not too noticeable, but you can see like some little bits of cracking, and like here, there's like the tiniest little dot of distressing. And when I was at the printer, we were like, you got any puff paint around here? And he's like, yeah, we got some puff paint around here. We got freaky with it. So now we have this nice toothsome, I would say, texture. That's still like bouncy. It's not crunchy. It's more rubbery. And I just think the slightly higher placement, the long skinny sleeve, it really makes it feel like a vintage t-shirt. Yes, let's try this one on too. So soft. So to be as prepared as possible for the official launch, we've actually already started bagging up the different sizes. But before we get too far into prepping for the actual selling part of it, this isn't the only thing I want to sell, because I think it's important to have multiple price points available or multiple types of items, because maybe you don't want a shirt, maybe I wasn't able to get your size this time, and maybe you like stationery a little bit more. So I also want to do washi tape. So I've actually already decided and illustrated and printed my washi tape, and this bad boy's been a long time in the making. So 2 years ago, I went to Japan and made a couple vlogs about it, and in one of those vlogs, I made this illustration animation of myself in different outfits, kind of like running through Japan, and it's in the style of the classic Japanese stock illustration. They're called irasutoya, and when I was trying to think of what to put on my washi tape, of course we have so many options, we have so many ideas. I wanted to do something fashion-y related, so I thought, why not do a little running print of all the outfits? It's super cute because you can just clip the outfits themselves, like little tiny squares if you want to do a tiny sticker, or you can do longer pieces if you want to do like a border. Isn't that cute? cute? And it's so cool to see my own illustrations on a physical product. I love these little guys. We have the little tiny version of me in my magical girl outfit, my clown suit, my matching little blue set that I made on the channel, and then me in a bathrobe with a duck on my head because why not? So day of launch, these will be up there too. And I'm not putting this in any of like my Instagram posts. It's going to be kind of a little surprise. So YouTube's hearing about it first, okay? Lucky you. So we've got our stationery item. We've got our shirts printed. Now I think we set up for the actual launch day. Need to take pictures. Need to get the website set up. Need to post this video. Things are getting real. Things are getting really real. Tomorrow's the big day. If you know me in real life, you know that I've been talking about these t-shirts for 6 months. And you might be thinking, wow, does it really take 6 months to develop and print t-shirts? No, I don't know if you do this, but if I have an idea or a project that I want to do, I get really excited about it and I make the plan and I get started on it. And then in the middle, when things start to become like real and maybe not constantly fun every second of it, sometimes I put on the brakes for no reason other than sometimes it's not fun to deal with the messy middle of a project, the part where you actually, have to put in the work. But once I gave myself a deadline, I was really amazed by how quickly this train moved down the tracks. And I also know that it's just t-shirts. It might not seem like a big deal, but I'm really proud of it. I feel like I touched and molded every single step, from searching for and binding the blanks, developing the graphic, making a new connection with the printer that I like, putting together a website and product listing, making washi tape. It's kind of like this little beautiful baby, this little sweet Togepi that I now get to share with everyone else. So if you have a project you want to work on and you're like, oh, it's really not that big of a deal, but I'm kind of excited about it, I hope you do it. And I hope you share about it down in the comments so we can all hype each other up. I hope y'all are hyping me up because I'm a little nervous for this. I'm not gonna lie. There's a part of me that feels very, 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 very uncomfortable asking anyone, but specifically people that, I don't know, like the videos I make online for money. And so I want to be so clear and real about this. If you don't want this shirt, if you don't have it in your discretionary budget this month or in months to come, please don't get it. Your money is very precious and I know you work really, really hard for it. And if you're thinking, oh, but I want to support you, you just being here is heaps more than I could ever ask for. So please don't feel pressured. Capitalism is one hell of a drug. Only get one if you think it's cool and want it in your wardrobe. And you may notice on the website it says Marginalia by Kathleen Illustrated. That's because that's the name of the shop. Marge for short. I wanted something that lived outside of Kathleen Illustrated, just so it could grow kind of unfettered from whatever we have going on here. And I really want to make an illustrated logo and kind of brand the whole thing in a future video. So if that sounds fun, feel free to subscribe. Doesn't mean this channel is going to turn into a small business channel. We're still going to thrift. We're still going to make artsy stuff. This is just like a little extra avenue that we can stumble down sometimes. Marginalia, like the little illustrations that are found in the edges of illuminated manuscripts. Perfect for those of us who like to live life on the edge. Do you get it? Okay, enough dilly-dallying. Let's get this bad boy live. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it was a lot of just me talking and kind of explaining things. A little different than what we usually post, so thank you so much for watching. If you want to check out the shop, it's kathleenillustrated.co. And if you want updates or just to hang out kind of behind the scenes, you can follow me over on Instagram at kathleenillustrated. Thank you so much for your support. If you have questions, you can always DM me, send me an email, and let's make more cool stuff together in the future. Okay? Ooh, I'm nervous. You're very stinky. I love you. Bye.